What's an industry secret in the field you work in? Auto insurance agent. Please, for the love of God, don't tell auto insurance agents more than you have to. They ask you a question, just say yes or no and answer the question as straight as you can. If you go on and on about your life story, you will probably end up saying something you don't have to and making your rate higher, or getting yourself declined. We want to get you that policy as cheap as possible, only tell us what we need to know and don't say anything else. Edit. For some reason I have people in the comments accusing me of enabling fraud now. Fraud sucks and is dumb. Don't lie with your answers. I will reiterate to be upfront and honest when answering the questions they ask you. Just don't go off on tangents and say unrelated shit. Said no to most of my questions on life insurance policy. Agent stated it looks more like I need to get a life policy. Edit. Thank you all for the likes and bling. Didn't expect a corny joke on my boring life to be so popular. I think they have to pay out now because he killed you right there. He didn't have fire insurance to cover that sick burn. In Microsoft Office, Word specifically, you can upload recorded interviews and it will transcribe it and ever have speaker 1 and speaker 2, 3 and 4. Basically eliminating a huge annoying part of the job. Edit WTF. This blew up. Everyone who gave awards and stuff, you're animals. I love you all. Okay, adding this edit. Haha. You do need to be subscribed to Office. Then when in Word, there is a dictate button. If you click it, dictate and transcribe should pop up. Click transcribe. Yes, it's not perfect, but for a reporter who is transcribing all day long and is definitely the most annoying thing ever that I dread doing on a daily basis, it's changed my life. Wha? But how? Go to Home, Dictate drop-down, Transcribe. Select Upload Audio. Choose an audio file from the file picker. Transcribe currently supports WAV, MP4, M4A, MP3 formats. Knowing how to research the answer to a question is at least as or even more useful than knowing the answer to begin with. I made a living in it for a decade with that mindset. I don't know any programming languages, but I know how to translate. It's worked so far. I'm the receptionist for a company. Being able to translate the whole system has gone coughly to steps like, are there any error messages? And what were you doing when this happened? Is a pretty needed skill. Note if you are not tech savvy, and your computer has an error code, take a picture with your phone or write it down, it's extremely helpful. If you don't have tech help on standby, you can often Google it and see what the problem is. Before that I worked phones at a hardware store, it's surprisingly similar advice. Take pictures, especially any codes on hardware pieces. I'm a musician. It's not really a secret, but 90% of our revenue is from merch. Spotify plays, show guarantees, etc. Everything is menial in comparison to shirt sales. In fact, a big reason bands tour as often as possible is because we can sell more shirts when we're in front of people. Edit. Thanks for the love, guys. To those asking, I sing for holding absence. How is it now? I've been looking at some merch for kind of lesser known bands that I really like, and they have their online stores open, but I'm afraid the shipping is not making it worth it for them. You make Independent Musicians Day every time you listen or buy merch. We see our listener charts and we ship out the merch ourselves, for the most part. I'm a dentist. Here's the lowdown on toothpaste. As long as it has fluoride, they are all basically the same. When I was in dental school, the Colgate lady came by and said that everything that says Colgate Total on it is all exactly the same, the only difference is the packaging. So whether it says whitening, or gum protection, or whatever else, it is all exactly the same. The exception is sensitivity. Toothpaste typically does have an extra active ingredient, No3, which helps with sensitivity. Don't ever feel obligated to buy the expensive toothpaste because you think it will be better for your teeth, just buy whatever you like best. Library worker here. The majority of donations we receive do not end up in circulation, on our shelves. No matter how much you demand, we put them there once they're donated. The reason why this is because we only add items to the collection that we think will circulate, be checked out. Most libraries get funding based off of statistics. We don't want to waste shelf space on items that people aren't checking out, as it won't improve our stats. So, unless the donated items are brand new, or by popular authors, we will not add them to the collection. We will also weed unpopular items from our collection with extreme prejudice for this reason, much to our patrons' horror. These books usually end up being sold at book sales to help generate funding for other library programs. As a beginner counselor, I worked with a lot of children and adolescents. Consistently, the discussion with my colleagues was how it was the parents who were the biggest problem and the kids were just adapting to a crazy environment. Oftentimes, I wonder how a patient got to be a certain way, and then I meet their parents, my psychiatrist. Word. I see a therapist every other week, and basically he says that my parents did a decent job, but duck things up about 20% of the time. A lot of librarians will waive your fines if you have an excuse and you don't ask too frequently, even large fines. Also, librarians don't care about your fines and aren't judging you. Please come back. We personally have more fines than you. Librarians are always overdue with their books. Edit. I wrote this before going to bed and it exploded overnight. Thank you, kind strangers, for the awards. I'm touched. All your fines are waived for life. Also, small grammar edit BC. I was nodding off when I wrote this originally. I don't know if you're from us, but I'm new to us. Everything, rent, banks, car rentals, universities, etc., seems to want to overcharge and drench the last cent out of you for minor forgivable reasons. Except for libraries. I was late on a book. A few days. Wasn't charged. I love the libraries and the library system. They also try their best to get you a book from other locations, and librarians are generally kind and polite. Library cards are free. You enter a library and nobody judges you, etc. for anything. They also recommend not to get our research published with predatory journals, etc. You are awesome. The world is in debt of your services. Former industry, commercial radio. It's never caller 5. It's the caller who sounds best on air. I won something on the radio once. The lady DJ called me back on a few minutes. She forgot to record the call. She told me to act excited. It was hilarious. She blamed it on being pregnant, said she had lost her mind. Not an industry I work in per se, but I used to be in a sales role. One of my customers was a milk bottling plant. I was somewhat surprised that they were putting the exact same milk in both organic and non-organic cartons. Turns out all of their milk is organic, but in order to not miss out on the sales of non-organic milk, they just bottle them differently and sell them at different prices. This one is both startling and interesting. If you order a pizza but like to choose your own toppings, it's often cheaper to choose an existing pizza like a meat supreme or something with loads of toppings, then swap out all the toppings for ones you want, than to go for the create your own option in the menu. Note, this is much less awkward if you order online than on the phone. There's a certain pizza chain website that I discovered will let you apply coupons on pizzas that aren't covered by the coupon. If you mess with it a bit, you can stack coupons, sub out ingredients, and get your order down to about 50 to 60% of the original price, even if you don't have coupons that cover what you've actually ordered. Then pay online and pick up in person. I doubt a human ever actually checks your total in the process. Edit. Dear God, what have I done? It is a regional chain. I think the takeaway from this thread is that many online systems have poor coupon stacking logic and the workers do off. Be sure to tip them on the full price as a thank you. A lot of successful artists at a certain level of success do nothing more than create a concept and employ several assistants, who are either current or graduating art students, who actually make the art itself, its reproductions, or both. Edit. I know this is old news in the art industry and academy, but outside of it I found it very hard to explain my job to people. I do believe that films also romanticize this field and warp what a lot of outsiders think it actually is. Can 100% vouch for this? I make about the salary of a teacher, thus, creating artwork every day for a recognized contemporary sculptor, who then picks up the work from me at the studio, and then sells what I made for hundreds of thousands. But hey man, his idea. Industry norms. You'd be surprised how willingly someone will do their job and even go above and beyond if you just compliment them for their professionalism, politeness, and how they are helping them. Edit. Thank you all. As a cashier, I am not even ashamed to admit that I will do more for you if you tell me I'm being helpful. Firefighters are trained on several areas and can specialize deeper into certain disciplines. Most of the emergencies we get called to are situations we have never been trained on, but with 4 of us on a fire truck we can normally figure out a solution. In my county, a girl got stuck in a clothes washer. I wasn't on the call, but there's a video of it online. I remember doing car extrication in the academy, but not washer extrication. Construction boy here. If your windows or sliding doors are tough to open and close, 9 times out of 10, we put your own dish soap on tracks and the thing works perfectly. It take 5 minutes and we charge 150. Dish soap people, it's better than WD-40 sometimes. Literally not 5 minutes ago I was closing the slider in my bedroom thinking it's time I finally look up solutions to make this thing glide easier. So I hopped on the internet, naturally got distracted by Reddit first, and now here we are. So serendipitous.